Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. So on CookieCast, feels like a little while in some ways, but it's the Getting Over podcast. Christmas and New Year have gone, a little bit of a break there, and we're back with another premium live event. And it's a big one to start off with. It's the Royal Rumble. We're here, we're talking what has passed, what news, and then we're straight into the Rumble. Winners, surprise entrants, playing for extra points. It's all here, and all here right now for you. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Share the podcast around, people. You're listening because you like the wrestling. Do you know someone else that likes the wrestling? Maybe they would like the podcast. Send it to them. Find out. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast Getting Over.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is that time of year already. The dust has finally settled. Christmas, thankfully, feels like a million years ago. You've forgotten the travesty of having to spend so much time building toys for your kids that they either break or you want to play with yourself. But that came out wrong. And you finally got that routine back down by being back to work. But that means two things. It's approximately the 411th of January. And it's time for the Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania starts here. Now, not only does that, signify the best time of the year in wrestling, it does also mean we are now entering our 7th year of Getting Over to the masses via the medium of the CookieCast channel. So crack out the birthday party hats, boys. You all got them deliveries earlier today, right?
Oh, big time.
We had a birthday in our house today, so yeah, we were all partying hard. So
it's just Andy with the party hats then. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. But yeah, whether you've joined us for every episode or this is your first time, obviously absolutely appreciate you being here for the ride. Just like the fine gentleman you have heard already, or possibly seen if you are over on the YouTubes. This is the 81st episode of Getting Over, and I'm being joined by podcast regular, Mr. Paul Williams.
Hello there.
I suppose we can call him the new podcast regular now, Mr. Max Hepworth.
Hi.
And obviously the creator himself, Mr. Andrew Cook.
Oh, good evening.
Everybody all right?
Yes, very good, thank you. When you said the creator there, I got a bit concerned that we'd change over to the theology podcast.
But it'd be a Star Wars podcast, Paul. Get it right. Come on.
Sorry?
Anyway, regular listeners will know that Mr. Matthew Moore is missing for this episode. Obviously, big shout out to Matt for all of his contributions over the years we've been doing this. He's not gone for good. He's just taking some time out. And at this point, I can neither confirm nor deny his surprise entrance at this weekend's Royal Rumble. Anybody else seen him, or in fact seen pictures of him on a plane to Saudi? Because
he did mention that he was due to fly somewhere actually. So, that sly devil.
Well, we'll start where we always do with the Predictions Championship. And last time around, Max picked up his first championship, taking the strap via a tiebreak in no surprise against Andy. Heartbreaker again for Andy. Can you exact some revenge this time around, Mr. Cook? Or will me or Paul finally get a look in? So it feels like an absolute dog's age since we've been on here, and obviously no premium live event in December. So this is winding the clock back all the way to Survivor Series for these prediction results. Now, obviously, because it was so long ago, we're not going to go through it match by match, maybe like we normally do in terms of any great shakes of detail. However, we will go through what cost us the points and such like. So we had 6 points to play for, and the results were pretty varied. So, in reverse order, 2 points from a possible 6 sees Andy claiming the wooden spoon on this episode. The points then jump to 4 for third place. And the current reigning and defending champion falls. Max in third. The top 2 places saw 5 and a clean sweep of 6 points scored. Meaning we've got the new champion. And a huge congratulations to that new champion, Mr. Paul Williams. Well done, sir. I think that's possibly Paul's first ever clean sweep on the podcast.
I don't recall ever getting everything bang on, mainly because I'd be horrified to think that I think the same as any of the creative team in the WWE.
You've been swatting up by watching the Unreal series to get into their frame of mind, and it's finally paid off.
No.
So yeah, that was where we stood. So Paul getting every single match right, including the people who took the losing fall in the War Games matches, which is it's pretty good.
So I do actually seem to remember watching this back, just thinking, I think I've got everything right. So, like, as I was like ticking the match off, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I went for that as well. So yeah, quite happy with it.
The same time the missus is sat nearby going, it's the only time that's happened. Anyway, right, we will move on. A lot has happened because it's been a while since we've been back. So I have picked out a few things which are, I think...
Just before Stu dives into the news, because it's the Royal Rumble, we're going to be doing, this is going to relate to like something further on, but I have numbers 1 to 30 written down in this box right here. So while Stu is going through the news, I will be drawing each of us 7 numbers which will come into play later on. So I'll pass you back to Mr. Woodmansey. Sorry to jump in.
Okay, lovely. It's all right. I've picked out 4 things which I think are reasonably big. Obviously, if you guys want to add into this, please feel free. If anything comes off the top, I'm quite happy to do that. But obviously the biggest thing that we need to talk about is the eventual and final, allegedly, retirement of none other than Mr. John Cena. Finally happening, finally going down at Saturday night's main event in December. We know that obviously that his last opponent was none other than the ring general himself, Gunter. And Gunter won by submission. Mr. Never Gives Up. Give up. You guys watch all of this? I'm assuming it's obviously a couple of weeks ago now, but now that the dust has well and truly settled on that, how are we feeling?
I had a lot of like, they should do this, they should do that, they should do the other, but they obviously were very much in the believe us when we say we're sticking to it. We're doing it, whether you like it or not, it's happening. So, although I had a multitude of different possibilities for how they could have, in some ways I kind of applaud them for sticking to their guns and actually going through with it. Do I believe it's the last? We'll see. But
I think it'll definitely be his last match. Put it that way. I think he'll be on WWE programming at some point because let's face it, the Hall of Fame is televised. But yeah, I'm with. I don't think he'll have another match, but I do think that he'll be back for some, whether it's like presenting general manager-y type sort of stuff that is going on.
He'll definitely have more in-ring segments, but I think that is the last time we'll ever see him in wrestling gear. So I think when he comes back,
Jort.
that's wrestling gear. So I think every time he comes back, I think he'll actually have like a conceited effort to specifically wear like a suit or trousers. I don't think we'll ever see him again in jorts, and I think that'll be a I was going to say subconscious, but obviously it's not subconscious. I think that'll be a specific sort of a
A
thing.
conscious effort.
That is. You know what? That is exactly the word I'm looking for.
So what you're saying is they need to do a retirement ceremony for the jorts and get a pair put up on the wall.
I'm not going to lie. A part of me kind of hoped that we're going to have like a ceremonial burning of the jorts.
They maybe did backstage. But then that's the thing, isn't it?
Oh
it's
no!
like
I'm pretty sure backstage, all that was being done was ceremonial drinking of beers and whatnot. So,
but that's the thing, though, isn't it? So he went through the process. He did really everything he was supposed to do. He lost to a sort of a younger talent essentially on the way out and put them over in a decent fashion as well. He then took off the boots, which are clearly Jordan's, and left them in the middle of the ring. So what Andy's saying is Andy wanted that to go one step further, and he wanted him to take off the jorts and leave them there as well in the middle of the ring.
Well, obviously he's had his like nude on TV thing of late. So either they double down and get him to do it again, or they're like, he's kind of already done that. They could have gone. What I think they should have gone was a secret Peacemaker promotion, and they should have had him take off the jorts and had the tidy whities on underneath, and been like, check out Peacemaker.
Max, anything from you, mate, on that one?
Disagree with everything that's been said. I don't think he'll wrestle again, but he'll definitely be back in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's a future GM, I don't think it would happen as a regular slot because of everything that we'll be doing in Hollywood. But yeah, he'll definitely be back for the Hall of Fame probably this year or next. He'll be hosting WrestleMania in a few years probably. And yeah, it was. I agree with what Mr. Cook said. Really, I think fair play to WWE for actually sticking with it. And I suppose in a business like this, it's everything is tried through the court of opinion, isn't it? And you're never going to please absolutely everybody. There's some people that looked at that and saw the fact that he, never gave up in his last match. Obviously, puts an end to that. Some people might say it was a bit of a weak way to go out, but then at the same time, Father Time's caught up to him. He's mid-40s. He's clearly battered, and it was a fitting end, putting a younger talent over and starting Gunther's run as the new legend killer. Really,
I think that it's from Cena's perspective. I think it's good that more than anything, he's gone out on his own terms. I think that was what he wanted more than anything. The fact that he is a bit battered, but he's not completely done in the respect of it's not going to hinder his career moving forwards in Hollywood and all the rest of it. And I think watching it at the time, I think that there was a lot of immediate outrage that, oh my God, he did give up. But I think as time's sort of moved on since then, like for me, it was almost like the perfect way. Like I don't mind that he tapped out at all. I'm still not quite on board with the whole giving it the big cheesy grin before he drifts off to tap out kind of a thing. No, that was a bit odd.
No, that was perfect. Yeah. That was perfect for me because it played right into the sort of the character of for all these years I've sort of preached this hustle, loyalty, respect, and never giving up and all that sort of stuff. But it was perfect in the fact that he'd come to the realization of, well, I either give up or I pass out, and I've got nothing left, so I might as well just give up.
Mm.
So I kind of liked that they went that way, to be honest with you, and I think it played into the narrative of the story they were trying to tell.
You mean they finally worked that out by the time that he was leaving?
Well, Yeah, have you not been watching?
Because everything else flowed smoothly throughout the timeline.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
My
Okay.
biggest annoyance. Oh, sorry. I was going to
No,
say
no,
my
you
biggest
can.
annoyance of the entire night was the commentary. I felt during the Cody and Obafemi match, they were making out as though Obafemi was, this destroy is just an absolute wrecking ball who should be respected. But then in the Bailey Solaruka match, they were making out as though NXT wasn't everything that they built NXT to be in the Obafemi Cody Rhodes match. They were just making NXT sound like it was a bit of a feeder club, really. And it was just so contradictory. They were commentating on the two matches, and I thought, well, you can't build it up in one match and then completely tear it down in the next. And I might be being quite harsh with that, but for me, I just felt as though to suit the narrative of, well, we know Obafemi's coming to the main roster soon. We'll make NXT sound as though it's fantastic and it's been fighting all these amazing opponents. But then because they may be keeping Sol Ruka in NXT for a bit longer, it's like, well, we'll play it down so it doesn't sound as though she's going to outgrow this type of thing. I'm probably rambling now, but it really wound me up at the time.
No, no.
No, I was going to say I get what it's like. It's the level of consistency that they just don't seem to ever have when it comes to certain things. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
One thing that I did enjoy during the course of the night was the video that they were playing where it was like everybody doing like the little John Cena shtick, whether it was like the "you can't see me" or like wearing the kit or whatever, and all of them, pretty much all of them, were dead into it. Like all the men, all the women, apart from Brock Lesnar, who just sort of give a little bit of a side eye in his dressing room chair and held up a piece of paper that somebody had clearly written for him. Um, could not give any less of a fuck that guy, could he really? Let's be honest. But still, well done, Brock. Thanks for being there for all of 3.5 seconds. Um, I also, as well, with the way that the night played out, there was just that small part of me that had to keep checking that it was John Cena's last match and that he'd not actually died. Kind of expected it though, didn't we? In the sense of how thick that it was laid on. But yeah, it is what it is. So other news. Since then, we've had a change at the top in terms of champions. Drew McIntyre, now WWE champion once again, picking up the title in a 3 stages of hell match on SmackDown from Germany just a couple of weeks ago. Have we seen any of the 3 stages of hell match? Andy has, yeah.
Yep.
So if I remember rightly, because this is not stuff I actually had noted down, but it was straight up singles match. Then it was a falls count anywhere match. Then, if they needed it, it was a steel cage match. Um, it the steel cage match is always billed as the thing to keep people out, but it absolutely did not work because going into the cage at one apiece, Drew picking up the win in the singles, Cody picking up the win in the falls count anywhere. The match was essentially determined by a returning Jacob Fatu, who came looking for revenge on Drew, but ended up getting into it with Cody as well. And whilst that was going on, Drew sort of snuck out of the door of the cage. Both feet hit the floor. Ding, ding, ding. New WWE champion. Where do we stand on this one, gents?
Uh, 5 years too late, maybe.
Did anybody have to double check that it wasn't COVID about to happen again as well? Just
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's proven for the past what 6, 7 years at this point. He's clearly a good enough guy on the mic and in the ring to carry the company. So why has it taken the best part of 5 years to put the belt back on him again.
Mm-hmm. I'm obviously very happy, big Drew fan anyway, so more than happy that he's got the title back. I do think that they sort of killed his momentum over the course of that time, because you think he went through, when he had the titles the first time around, everything he did with Randy Orton, seemingly magic, couldn't put a foot wrong. Went through the same process essentially with CM Punk, and still probably would go through that again if needed. But that Hell in a Cell match will go down for me as one of the best that there's ever been. And yet they still wouldn't pull the trigger. But it seems that he'd started to build some of that steam again, going up against Cody. Bad guy Drew seems to be where he's most comfortable. And it's certainly paying off. So yeah, he picks up the title, and he has got a title defense this coming weekend. But we'll get to that in a little while. The next thing I have on the list is a whole host of NXT call-ups. Seems to be a little bit of a strange time of year to do it. Just before the Royal Rumble, because they could have just let them appear in the Rumble and had them as surprises for a start. That would have ticked more than one box. However, Lash Legend, Jordan Grace, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Obafemi, I think, is the full, possibly the full list so far, but there are rumoured to be more on their way. I am mega happy that Obafemi has been called up. He's more than ready. He proved that against Cody when they had their match before Drew. Stuffed it up at Saturday night's main event. But also because I have got a very low numbered Obafemi autograph card that seemingly just doubled in value. So we'll take that one for now. But he was the one that they've basically kept off TV. He basically won back the NXT title just to give it up, which was a bit of a flex if ever there was one. And now sort of leaves NXT's men's division without a clear sort of locker room leader, I guess. There are plenty vying for it. They're a very strong division. Obviously, we've got Ricky Starks, Ethan Page, good old Egon, and many, many more. But it was just a really bizarre way of doing it. And plus, we've got this whole influx of TNA crossovers into NXT at the moment, AAA crossovers as well. So like they've got like a much deeper talent pool to draw from if they need to. The one that surprised me the most of coming up so quickly as it would be was actually Jordan Grace. I thought she'd have a bit more of a run in NXT and end up with the title and all that kind of stuff, but she seems to have just skipped a gear basically and gone straight into fifth. So, not disappointed with that one either. I think she works very hard. I'm happy for all of them. I'm a little bit gutted for Javon because he seems to have picked up an injury early doors, although he is slated for the Rumble still. Any thoughts on what you've seen from the NXT lot so far?
Yeah, my knowledge of them is basically anything that they do whilst on the main roster because I don't watch NXT. So the bits I've seen of Obafemi do make it look like with the right push, they could potentially have the next sort of 5 years of main event WrestleManias right there in their back pocket. Sol Ruka obviously looked good from she's got the amazing finishing move and stuff like that. So
she's not officially been called up yet, though. She is one of the.
Shit.
She is one of the rumored two, because the other two that are rumored on the horizon are going to allegedly are Sol and Kalani Jordan. Again,
I suppose as well with Jordan Grace, obviously she's not been in the company for that long, but she's got the past experience of having been sort of a established top star with her time in TNA. So you'd imagine she won't be. I'm just going to say shy on the camera, but I don't really think it's that, is it? It's like she's not going to be. I can't think of the word
she knows the formula already. She's not
Yeah, she's
sort of
not
behind in that
she's not
regard.
yeah, she's not lacking in knowledge or prior experience. That's the word for experience.
Hmm.
But I'd be interested to see what she can bring to the table in the big leagues, if we
Hmm.
want to sort of put it that way.
It looks like she's been thrown straight into the women's title picture on SmackDown,
Hmm.
seemingly picking up a bit of pace with Jade Cargill. So that'll be interesting because two of the more athletic, shall we say,
Yeah,
members of the women's division.
yeah, one that can work and one that yeah, we'll
It's
move on.
called Jade Cargill.
Any more on the NXT stuff, guys, or shall we move on?
Good for me.
Okay. And just the last thing I've got. So obviously, if there is anything I've missed, please feel free to dive in. But as I usually like to drop it a mention when it gets announced, WWE 2K26 first look this past week. Has everybody seen it? I know that you all don't necessarily play a lot of computer games. This might only appeal to maybe one or two of us. Um, but they've gone for it. Finally gone for it. It feels like I've been waiting for them to do this forever since they had the capability of doing it. It's got a huge Attitude Era focus. So it's about time. It's you're gonna hit that sweet spot of people that have now had to, been able to watch it back through the network through Netflix, get into them, play it for themselves, and then the old miserable sods like me who were there at the time. I can't wait. It looks incredible. Unfortunately, obviously, the Dwayne is still on the cover, but we can't fault that, I guess, in a way. And as well, they're bringing back the Attitude Era stuff on the game, potentially just in time for Jericho to jump ship. So that might be well planned. But yeah, it looks from the bits and bobs that they've shown so far, it looks very good. The some of the screenshots they were showing were the McMahon Helmsley era Triple H and Stephanie. Um, Obviously, the first comment underneath the thing about Stephanie being pedigree through the announce table can't be repeated on the podcast. If you know, you know. Paul clearly knows. But yeah, I'm happy that they've decided to, rather than just force us another Roman Reigns edition or sticking it to a singular superstar, we're going to get a whole full batch of them. Apparently, one of the special editions though is going to be an all about the game edition. Um, I am absolutely begging him to bring back a physical benefit for buying that. Like he used to get an autograph card or like bits of ring skirt or in the cabinet next to where I'm sat right now, there's a piece of ring mat from when Hulk Hogan returned in 2014. There's a piece of Ric Flair's ring robe that all came from the physical benefits you used to get from buying the special editions. Whereas, as with everything in recent years, they've kind of leaned towards the digital benefits instead, and that can just go and do one, as far as I'm concerned. Right. That was. Did anybody want to bring up anything else that they think that is massive that's happened in the last sort of month or so since we were last on? Are we all good? Okay, so we're just about caught up then, which means we've got the Royal Rumble predictions, and I think it's only right that we just take not even a second of your time. We'll be back before. Well, I mean, if I just shut up talking, we'll be back. But don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a very, very small break, and we will be right back with you. And we're back. There you go, you see, straight back to it. And as I mentioned, it is time for those Royal Rumble predictions. Now, we've got the usual stuff. Paul's going to jump in at some point to explain himself after flashing at you for the entire first. I mean, the numbers for the first half of the podcast. So yeah, here we go. The Rumble comes to us live this Saturday from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and a brand new stadium has been built in Riyadh in the King Abdullah Financial District, specifically to house the event. Now, on Raw this past week, Michael Cole said WWE have built an arena. The whole thing has been put together in around 26 days. I'm assuming it's not a permanent structure based on that. And I'm really hoping that the weather's good, put it that way, because it looks a lot like it's going to be an open kind of a job. But I guess we'll find out on Saturday when we tune in. And we don't normally do the Saudi ones, but we can't not do the Rumble.
Correct.
Bit of a catch-22 there. The only shining light in all of this is that because of the time difference, nobody has to stay up till 4 a.m. to watch the Royal Rumble this year. It's a 7 o'clock start. Be in bed for midnight. That's it's pretty good. Pretty good. Well, it depends how excited you get, Paul, about who wins. I'm not sure. So in terms of what we do on here on the podcast, as always, the match card information is taken from WWE.com. It is correct at the time of recording. However, the card is subject to change, and let's face it, with 2 30-entrant matches, it's probably going to change a fair bit. But we are currently rocking with a 4-match card, and it looks an awful lot like this. We have the Women's Royal Rumble. We have a WWE Championship match. We have a retirement match, potentially. And
Career threatening, I believe the phrase is.
Technically aren't all matches career threatening if you're in the ring with Jade Cargill, as you mentioned earlier.
Oh,
Nia Jax, anyone? And then obviously the Men's Rumble. That is the order I've got for the book. So that is the order we will go through. So the Women's Rumble. Standard rules, 30 women enter, 1 leaves with a title shot. We know the drill. Over the top rope, both feet hit the floor, and you are gone. Unless you are 2025 Penta, obviously. The list of entrants so far, confirmed by WWE.com, and yes, Max, I am talking to you when I say this, and I have not included any interviews or any dirt sheet stuff from anywhere else. So, the women's confirmed entrants: Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, Chelsea Green, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Maxine Dupree. If you were keeping up with me, you'll realise that's 16 of the 30 names confirmed. Leaves an awful lot of wiggle room for surprises and or NXT people. Because it is the Rumble, the predictions are a little bit different. We don't just give a straight up winner. We are going for, obviously, a winner. So the Iron Woman, whoever spends the longest time in the match itself, the most eliminations in the match, and we've even got license to pick 2 surprise entrants. So the surprises, as long as they're not on that list I read out, or have been featured on social media and ruined, which we'll get to if we need to, looking at you, Nikki Bella, then it'll fly. It actually wasn't Nikki that ruined it herself. It was Jackie Redmond, who was so proud of herself for sleeping the full 16-hour flight to Riyadh. She took a picture of herself on the plane, looking all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and then Nikki Bella was just slightly behind her in the shot, looking like she'd just been dragged through a hedge backwards, bless her. So yeah, so that is the list. Obviously, there's a lot of predictions to go through for this. Do I have a taker to kick us off?
What do you want first?
I'm going to go for the winner first. We'll go straight up winner.
Okay. I'll dive in then. I would like Liv Morgan, please.
Should have gone first. You son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
I'll just start putting that in the book for Andy then as well.
What, you son of a bitch? Oh, the son of a bitch. It went in the book.
I mean, what was the old family fortunes thing? If it's there, I'll give you the money myself. Max.
Liv Morgan.
Wow, you lot are all diving in. I have gone with a returning Tiffany Stratton.
Ooh, interesting.
I feel like she's one that they like to strap the rocket to, as it were. Got to be careful how you phrase that in the women's division. But she's had the money in the bank. She's had a little layoff to get rested up and recuperated. And on that same ilk, so was Bianca Belair. I feel Tiffy's probably a step in front in terms of being in consideration for winning the Rumble this year. Plus, she could go straight back into the Jade Cargill setup if she really wanted to. They could even quite easily switch her to the other title as well. Obviously, the NXT kind of background with Vaquer or whatever. But yeah, so Tiffany Stratton was my winner. Technically, I suppose I could use her for a surprise entrant, but we might as well play for some points, so I haven't.
Well,
But
that's double points, surely.
we'll get to that. I've got Iron Woman in the book next, so shall we go through it in the same order? Paul, do you want to give us yours?
I think mine sort of ties in with my winner. No, Iron Woman, sorry. Iron Woman. Io Sky.
Okay. Featured over an hour.
Max is absolutely not happy with me. It would appear at this particular time.
Io featured for over an hour in last year's Royal Rumble match, so whether they'll go down that route again so quickly, who knows? Because there was that stupid thing last year, wasn't there, of like the first two entrants set a record, and then somebody else who was in third, the 1 and 2 got eliminated, so then the third place one took over, and it was like, I think they changed hands with a record about 6 times in one match or something ridiculous. Andy.
Lyra Valkyrie.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost went for it because it almost feel like this might just be from watching. Obviously, spoiler alert, but she features quite heavily on the latest series of Unreal.
Not seen any of it yet.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they give her like a bigger sort of storyline moving forward this year off the bat.
Okay, so Lyra's in the book for Andy. I'm assuming I'm about to write Io Sky down again. Max.
Yeah. Do you know what? Can I? So I'm not the same. Can I change it?
Yeah, it's not in the book yet, so you can.
I'm gonna go playing for points. Chelsea Green.
I do not mind that one bit.
She was my second. She was my second
well
pick to win it.
She was mine, to be honest.
I would love Chelsea Green to win it.
With them taking the US title off of her, I hope that they strap a rocket to her. And I'm kind of thinking that they won't have her win it, but they'll give her a title of sorts from the match, which will hopefully be the Iron Woman.
Okay.
Which she can then cling on to and say that she got screwed or something.
Okie dokie. I would, you know how they usually do that thing of the winner of the Rumble picks one of them, and then there's an elimination chamber match or some equivalent. Usually, and I'd be happy if it went that she won that, but I'd love to see her win the Rumble because she would be perfect for it as well, because she'd spend the whole match diving under the bottom rope and going back in and like messing around and all the rest of it, and it'd be a bit of like a by the end, people would have to sort of take her seriously with it, I think, as well. And I would love Chelsea Green to win. I wasn't convinced enough. My Iron Woman pick is Jordan Grace. I think they like to give it to people who are kind of definitely fresh and coming through, or on the up. So I think that Andy's pick of Lyra, definitely somebody that's on the up. Max's pick of Chelsea, somebody that's definitely on the up. Paul, I'm sorry, I don't agree with your Io thing at all, because she had too much time last year and she's had a good year out of it, I think. So I think Jordan Grace is a good candidate for it, because she's She's kind of short, so she'll be difficult to throw over. She's kind of stacked, so she can throw people over herself.
Yeah.
And then she fits that other criteria of being that up and comer. So that's where I went with that.
Mm-hmm.
Was Paul going to tell me off then?
No, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure last year's was Roxanne on it, because once she in number 3 or something like that, I went all the way to the end.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's another reason.
Eel wasn't the longest. So,
but she was one of the ones that had the record that then changed the record that we was talking about before, for sure. Next on the list, most eliminations. Paul, I'll let you tell me what Max or Andy are about to say first.
well, I was going to say, do you want to go to Max first, so just in case I sort of steal his thunder?
Well, we can switch it up if you want. Go on, then we'll go to Max first.
No. Paul first, fine with me.
No.
Don't stand on ceremony, boys. Come on.
So mine ties in with the winner, and I think Raquel Rodriguez. I did offer for other people to go there.
I think that's also me and Max then that have picked Raquel Rodriguez. Looking at that,
Looking at Andy's face, I'm not entirely convinced it's not all 4 of us.
Okay, Andy.
You know your Iron Woman pick, Stu.
Okay.
Yeah, just pop that one down for me, because I was the whole time, go back and watch the entire time you were giving your Iron Woman prediction. I was just like, oh, that's an interesting choice there. Those are some interesting reasons you've got with this. I really agree with you on all of those points.
Okay, so Andy's gone for Jordan Grace, and then Max and myself for Raquel as well. Or is Max going to change to be?
No,
Not this time.
I'm sticking with Raquel.
Good, that's fine. I picked her because they've spent the latter part of the year building her up as the muscle of Judgment Day. I think that Judgment Day will be on their way very shortly, and she needs to come out of it well, because she's the most probably, even though she's physically the strongest, she's definitely the weakest character. So I think she needs a bit of oomph behind her to keep her in the on the island of relevancy, as Paul Heyman might put it. So that leaves us with the 2 surprise picks. And guess what? Fuck you, Paul. I'm going first this time. So just in case, since everybody else was nice about it, I'm not going to be nice about it. My 2 surprise picks are Paige and AJ Lee.
Oh, you swine.
Because those 2 will be in it together at some point, I think. Anyway, that's mine. So, Andy, shall we go to you then?
You know the ditto signs?
For both?
Yeah, I had both. I thought I was being real clever as well. I did have a third, but yeah, those were my 2 surprises. I thought I was being clever, which obviously, we all know how that turns out.
I can say that I did the writing for this last night, and I did fill mine in yesterday. We haven't conferred about this. Max can attest to the fact that I did this last night as well, because we were chatting about that before. Right, okay.
Do I have to delete all those texts from earlier on?
Well, if you're gonna bring it up live on air, if you could just send me my tenner back as well, yeah. That's
mine. I've already spent it.
All right. Well, seeing as Paul has been first the whole time, let's make him go last for this one. So, Max, who are your 2 surprise ones?
I think they're a bit boring to go. I've gone Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair, which I know they're not on the list, but it's not. I don't really class it as a surprise, but I thought it's probably a bit of an easy one.
Bianca is a weird one, isn't she? Because she's been off for nearly a year with a broken finger.
She's
must have been the most broken finger in all of the brokenest fingers that ever was. Apparently, it's not known if she's cleared or not, but apparently the finger that she damaged has suffered some sort of lasting damage. So there's Andy giving it the claw, but it might actually be a little bit, that way inclined. Who knows? Okay. Solid picks. I do think they'll both be in it. Obviously, I think Tiffy's going to be in it. Can Cool. Right, Paul, how many of yours have we ruined? Ooh. Oh, you could have gone first then in the end.
Well, yeah, but we
I
weren't to
guess.
know that. Yes,
I reckon he's going NXT. I reckon one of them's Sol Ruka.
incorrect.
Ooh, okay.
I think Trish and Michelle
Boom.
McCool.
Not Michelle McCool.
What, is Undertaker doing a podcast out there or something?
Don't tempt him. Don't tempt him now. Yeah, I'll at this point I'll eat my own hat, which I don't eat, which I don't have currently within scoffing distance. If Trish isn't in it, because it's the easiest win, it's the easiest sort of big pop for them that they can possibly get. And the other one, potentially a bit of an outside of the box one, gone for Victoria.
I don't think she'll ever do any more now, but okay. Do you know, right? So
Just
now,
remember that
go
when
on.
you're chalking me a point off there, good lad.
Okay. Well, now that we've got the official ones in the book, who was your third, Andy?
I had written down in my.
Because I had another two.
I had a
Okay.
few.
I had an indie wrestler on my list, Nor Diana Phoenix.
Okay. Not one that I would have picked. My other two were a tag team because
Oh,
the recent TNA contract expiry of the artists formerly known as the Iconics seems to be
yeah,
hanging in the air somewhat. So I,
yeah,
I
I like that.
kind of expect them to show up again at some point as well, and I think they'd be
I like
good
that.
to be honest.
I like that. I like that a
Um,
lot.
so that was my other two. Max, who were your other options?
Sol Ruka, Trish, Michelle McCool. I thought Molly Holly might pop up here.
They've got
I'm
that.
thinking with it being in Saudi, they're going to attempt to go big, aren't they? And I just think that it'll just be nostalgia all around, really. So it wouldn't even surprise me if Lita popped in, or Beth Phoenix as well. But I don't know.
I suppose Beth's got a bit more of
Cool.
an AEW sort of tie in the
I was
house at
gonna,
the moment, hasn't she? So
I was gonna
I
say, I
know,
think
but
Beth's a bit. I think Beth's unlikely just because of who her husband is. Um, I'm just trying to think, for me, I think if anyone that sort of ties in with Attitude Era, that would be the sort of the ones to go for. So maybe Lita was one I did consider. Maybe a Tori Wilson, but it's just what she's up to and stuff like that.
hmm Okay. So the whole point of me bringing up that bit after the official picks was just so that we can all spend the next episode of the podcast kicking ourselves for picking the wrong ones.
Yeah,
So yeah.
obviously. Stephanie
Okay.
McMahon.
Oh, not in the Rumble. Can you imagine though?
What?
The
Well,
place.
not just to enter, to win the whole thing.
Anyway,
Just you wait till we get to the men's rumble.
well, thankfully that one is last. The next match I have on the card is the WWE Championship match, which is Drew McIntyre defending against Sami Zayn. So, as we mentioned, Drew recently captured that title in the Three Stages of Hell match. And the first defense on the docket is against the perennial underdog, Sami Zayn. To hammer home that point, a few statistics for you. Sami Zayn has never beaten Drew one-on-one. Does anybody want to hazard a guess what his actual record stands at? How many matches, on TV matches obviously, is he officially down on Drew?
is it
I bet it's
11 nil?
more. I bet it's more than you think. Isn't it?
So Max wasn't far out. His record currently is 0-12.
Jesus, I didn't even know that. I didn't even realize there had that many matches.
I know, and that's just his one-on-one record as well, by the way. So yeah, weird. Um, Also, bear in mind that Sami Zayn will have an adopted hometown crowd behind him. I guess it's kind of set up, I think, here to make it look like all points towards Sami. taking his first world title, or does his record extend to unlucky number 13 as Drew is going to march on? Okay, Andy's having some big grins here, so we'll go straight to Andy.
I am absolutely with you on it. It is set up so much to be like, he's definitely getting the win. The whole hometown, never done it, blah blah. It's absolutely a setup. This is silly to have Drew win it to Paul's favourite, throwing out the hot potato straight off the bat. I don't see anything other than a Drew win here, because what would we achieve at this point in time by just going, oh yeah, he's finally got a title back, and everything's right with the world, and wait, no, that didn't last very long, did it? Makes no sense. I almost look at this match as a what really are we doing at this point? Why is this a necessary thing? But obviously they've got to pad it out, haven't they? Because they've not got all that many people kicking around these days.
I think the time for me, I agree with Andy. I have also gone for Drew. If this had been the Saudi double, if it had been the Rumble into WrestleMania, I think he'd have more of a chance, because I think this time next year, if Sami Zayn is ever going to win it, it's going to be either in the build up to WrestleMania next year when it is in Saudi, or he's never going to win it. And I have to say, unfortunately, my kind of current stance is that they've booked a match between a guy who currently holds the title, has deserved to have the title on multiple occasions, and they have screwed him over time and again, against a guy who historically they've never felt comfortable enough to let near the world title picture for any extended period of time, despite the fact he's a decent worker. I just, after last year, and I'm going to sound like I'm being horrible about him now, and I feel bad for the guy the way it fell. Everybody got on board with the Jey Uso Yeet train. It was the hottest thing going. And less than 3 weeks after WrestleMania, that could not have crashed any harder than it did. And I would put Sami Zayn in that bracket of it's fine for now, whilst the hype is there, but how do you sustain it? And I don't know if he's kind of got that depth to his character. Because then when you make the underdog the champion, what has he got?
I don't know. I think he's got enough. I think he's got enough sort of credit in the bank with the fans, where it's something they've wanted to see for a while. I reckon there's enough story that you could. It would feel a bit Kofi-esque to me. It would have that more of a Kofi feel than it would a Jey Uso feel. I think if you did.
Just remind everybody, Paul, how well the Kofi Kingston title reign went then as well.
He had it for like 8 months.
Until Brock picked up the phone and 30 seconds later it was done.
Well, yeah, obviously, like they wanted a big splash for the first episode of SmackDown on Fox, didn't they? So that was just he was the sacrificial lamb, and 3 months or 6 months later or whatever it was, the whole world shut down. So we'll say the less we say about that, the better.
But he's never been back near it since, and that's my point.
Yeah.
I think if Sami Zayn gets that, he'll be of that bracket.
I think it's nailed on that if he does get it, he'd be a one-time champ. In the same way that I'm fairly confident that Jey Uso won't be the world champion ever again. So.
It's a difficult one with Jay. I think we're getting slightly off the track now, but I don't necessarily feel like it was just him that dropped the ball. Like, the creative didn't really help him by basically just letting every entrance he ever had be 15 minutes long because he could. And it's just, it got too much. I think people just got bored of it. Anyway, Andy's picked Drew. I've picked Drew. Paul.
Yeah. It's that thing where if it's not a Drew retention, then something's gone drastically wrong. And annoyingly, before he won the match at Saturday night's main event, he was going to be my pick to win the Rumble. So, yeah, Drew needs to retain it, and he needs to hold it till at least WrestleMania, and ideally past WrestleMania for me.
Okay, so 3 Drews and Max. Points Island for you, or you all aboard?
I completely disagree with nothing that's been said. No,
Oh, I like what he's done there.
also
He's thrown in the old quadruple negative there.
I also think Drew. I do think Sammy will win the title at some stage, but I think with the majority of his other title runs, he's been a transitional champ, and I think it's far too early for Drew to lose that title for it then to just be passed over by Sammy. So yeah, Drew for me, please.
Okay. Right. Well, a clean sweep on the WWE title match, which takes us to the second of the one-on-one matches. This one is effectively a potential retirement match for AJ Styles, putting his career on the line against the career killer himself, Gunther. Obviously, Gunther is the man who ended the careers of Goldberg and John Cena. AJ basically just couldn't take the crow in after Gunther took out Cena, and the two collided on the 12th of January on Raw. During the match, Gunther actually tapped out to the calf crusher, but the referee was at the opposite side, missed the decisive moment, so AJ felt the tap, released the hold. Gunther delivered a swift uppercut to the Jeff and the lads, and followed it up with a powerbomb. Tainted win, but the only way Gunther would
Tainted win.
the only way Gunther would agree to a rematch was if AJ put his career on the line, and he agreed. So it's on. Who flies home from Saudi victorious, and will AJ still be in employment? Now, one thing I would like to point out before we get to this, just in case you haven't seen it, paying particularly close attention to the opening segment of Raw this past week, both AJ Styles and CM Punk, who he ended up facing later on the episode, both referenced WWE career, not overall career. So I don't know if that changes anybody's mind, puts a bit of a different spin on it. Not sure. So AJ has consistently said he wanted 2026 to be the last year of his wrestling career. Will that be with WWE beyond the Royal Rumble? Anyone want to take this one first?
I think Gunther.
Ooh. Go on then. Jumping in on what I just said, yeah.
I think I don't know how true it is, but obviously they keep saying that his contract expires in February, don't they? With AJ Styles. I think obviously with the John Cena retirement tour, it's almost set a bit of a dangerous precedent with wrestlers retiring now. I think everybody thinks every wrestler is now going to deserve a retirement tour, which AJ Styles does deserve for the work that he's put in prior to joining WWE, and also the work that he did at WWE, because you look at what he's achieved in the last 12 years, and it's been incredible. He's been the best performer, really, consistently. That's when he was the face that ran the place at SmackDown, the amount of matches that he was able to put on, and every one of them was an absolute showstopper. But I don't think he'll obviously have the same type of retirement tour that Cena had. You could look at the few matches that he's had recently with, the Cena match, the Shinsuke Nakamura match, and things like that he's had recently, and the farewell that he got in Japan. And you could say he's kind of had a tour on a smaller scale, but I do think if they want to give any credence to Gunther as being this, legend killer, I think kind of AJ's got to go out of WWE and pop up in TNA in about 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, they obviously have the working relationship with the amount of time that the TNA and NXT spend swapping on each other's stuff, so that's fair enough. I, however, have gone for AJ Styles because I feel like we've been led down that path just a little bit too far. His contract may well be up in February. If you're going to give anything to AJ on his way out the door, surely it's a WrestleMania payday, regardless of what that might look like. It's in Vegas. Why not? I think he'll get a WrestleMania out of it, and then I could see the TNA stuff happening. It wouldn't surprise me if they've got some sort of anniversary or like event of their own that it can tie into, where he then gets maybe like a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks off, and then just turns up unannounced. So I've gone for AJ for this one. Paul?
Yeah, same, but I think they'll do it in a way where it doesn't hurt Gunther. So I think it'll be a disqualification.
Okay. So AJ to win though, yeah?
So AJ to win because Gunther gets himself disqualified.
Okay. And Andy?
Yep, I'm with both of you. I don't see AJ losing this, but I also see that this is like the start of something. So a disqualification that turns it into another match, which can drag it out further to turn it into more of a, oh, well, why don't we take it to the big stage and do it this way and have a real retirement and really like blow the doors off the situation. I see this to be the start of that.
Okay.
Rather
cool.
than they go into a match, his career's over, he walks away. I think it needs let's start here. It didn't get resolved. It needs something else, and it needs something more and something bigger to then go with that career ender.
Okay. Right. Okay. Those are all in the book. That does leave us just the men's rumble to go. So we're just going to, again, grab a little drink, settle in. We've got all of the winners, the Iron Man, the most eliminations, and the surprise entrance still to bring you. And then that will lead you nicely into the weekend's festivities yourself. So don't touch that dial. We'll be a second. Here we go. Here we are. It is main event time, and what I suspect will be the main event on the day itself as well. It is time for the men's Royal Rumble predictions to occur. So much like the women's, not all of the spots have been confirmed. Plenty of opportunity for surprises and NXT superstars to make the trip to Saudi. Only 14 spots confirmed. So that list currently on WWE.com reads Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio, Jey Uso, Gunther, Solo Sikoa, Penta, Dragon Lee, Jacob Fatu, Obafemi, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Javon Evans, and R-Truth. He will clearly lose his spot because he's gone to the wrong country, or there'll be something that rhymes with, like, is there a place in America called Cheddar? Or will he come to, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it won't go to the wrong. He won't go to the right place. He'll go to somewhere that sounds like that because that's an easy way to get a surprise into the Rumble, isn't it?
He'll turn up in the women's instead.
Or that, yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the list of confirmed names. So again, anything that's not been spoiled with a direct photograph on social media or podcast announcement that's not. I'm looking at ESPN for this one. If anybody's seen anything from the day of the actual recording, but we'll find out, I guess, when people give their predictions. I've completely lost track of who did what in the first one because we have talked a lot about these predictions tonight. So I'll throw it out there again. Does anybody want to go first?
Do you want the winner?
Go on, Max.
I was torn. However, my winner is Mr. Bron Breakker.
I knew I shouldn't have thrown that out.
You filthy bastard.
Oh, twice over. Okay. I'm sure we may be hearing that name again momentarily. We might as well rip that band-aid off, actually. We might then leave a surprise till last with Andy, at least. Yes, I have also picked Bron Breakker. Paul?
Yeah, I think up until Drew winning the title, I think this was a nailed-on Roman Reigns wins the Rumble. And then that has just completely thrown everything up in the air. And the other one that I had as a potential, if they really wanted to sort of like go and just say we're just gonna throw everything like sort of like against the wall and just see what sticks. My other one that I toyed with was Obafemi.
Too early for him, I think.
That's what I think personally. But yeah, Braun makes the most sense for me. You know, having beat Punk. Happy days.
This time next year, we might be writing Obafemi down 4 times, I would suggest. Andy, am I going to have to write Bron Breakker down 4 times tonight? What are we thinking?
No, because I'm going to do something super vanilla for this one, in the sense of just playing for points, and I want you to put me down for Roman Reigns.
Okay.
He was my second choice.
I feel like enough time has passed at this point, and it's probably time to restart that fire. So this is potentially a good way to make another run at things. Time's passed. It's a good point in time. Yeah, it's maybe not as big as it could be, but I just think it's an easy start for something like that. And I thought some part of me thought I was being clever. Some part of me thought I was like, it's a silly prediction. And then now I'm just playing for points.
Okay.
Do you want a ridiculous stat? When do you reckon the last time that he won the Rumble was?
2016.
I was going
15.
to say 10 years.
So over 10 years at this point. 2015.
Yeah.
Because he was the champion going into 2016. That's when he lost it to Triple H.
Oh, and yeah.
So he's only ever won one, and it seems insane because he's always like the last person eliminated in every other Rumble. It seems so. He's like, it's almost like it's a test you've got to pass. You've got to be able to sort of like outlast Roman to prove that you can make it or something like that.
I think because they've been stuck in this bloodline rut for year after year after year, and obviously I say rut, I don't mean to disparage it because let's be fair, that was the best part of wrestling for a good portion of that time. But now that they've almost watered it down a little bit with the MFTs on SmackDown, and I don't really feel like they can dive into that again and have any like their group, particularly with Solo and everything, doesn't feel like it had the same sort of level of threat or gravitas about the whole situation than it did kind of when things were a little fresher. Maybe obviously now they've got the face paint and shit. Maybe that's where they're going to go. But as Andy says, with him winning the Rumble, it's almost chance for like a fresh start for a fresh story. Whether that ends up being with Drew, because they could still tie it back to when he got screwed out of everything during, the evil Roman Reigns sort of reign, or whether that ends up being Punk because of their history with like Survivor Series and all that kind of business. I think they've got options. I don't think Roman is a bad pick at all. I picked Braun purely for the fact that I feel like he's just a bit of fresh meat, really, and I think he would benefit the most. And I think of the sort of upper mid card, shall we say, I think he's probably the most likely. The whole thing about him being suspended for a little while to then come back and all the rest of it.
I think what I would say as well is I think that if he doesn't win the Rumble, I mean, he has to instantly be installed as the favourite to win the Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Surely.
Yeah, I would agree. Right. We're going around the same way again. So Iron Man next. Max.
Probably just for his entrance. Well, entrance doesn't count, does it? So I'm not going to have Jey Uso. I had, which I think I'm going to regret because I think he might come in late. But I don't know if they'll put Cody Rhodes in early.
Okay.
So I'm going Cody.
Don't think that's a terrible shout either.
And I think he'll make it to like the last 4 or 5. And I think it'll then. I think there's going to be a process of Cody getting like close enough to touch it, but he doesn't quite get there. And then that'll formulate his whole Homelander Cody. So I think he'll be one of the early ones in, but then at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if he came in number 30 and one. But yeah, he comes in early, makes it towards the end, and maybe gets done by Obafemi.
When I was looking at this, I thought about this, and I think I end up sticking more on the fact that, but what if he does come in late? For me, he's definitely going to be Final Four because I think they'll be absolutely jumping over themselves backwards to, oh my God, someone's going to three-peat. But I couldn't. For me personally, I didn't. I didn't pick Cody. My Iron Man match, my Iron Man for the match, and I'm gonna look at this and try not to get the evil death stare when I say these words. I have a feeling it's going to be Logan Paul.
Oh, you get out! You get out of here now! You are.
I can see it. I can just see
Oh
it.
my
Like
God, no!
he's been given the green light for the full-time stuff. They're obviously very high on him. They like the whole Vision dynamic. And I think having him around almost to help Bron win probably plays into Logan Paul's character a little bit more than it does Bron's. And it's just going to be that next level of him being able to be like, well, I'm supposed to be the guy that can't do this, and look what I did. So yeah, sorry, Andy, but I think it's going to happen. Do you need a minute? Does Paul need to jump in here, or do you want to go
I
go
need more
next?
than a minute. I need a stiff drink right and I lie down.
I really, do you know what? I don't hate that at all. And I think whilst I don't think he'll start the match as 1 or 2, I could definitely see him coming out as 3 to sort of get that initial sort of like, sort of get the big sort of crowd reaction. And I won't be surprised if he's in I think he'll be in the final 4 potentially.
I think he will be 1 or 2 because he's had a lot of big fights in Saudi previously, and they've got the potential for him to do like a dickhead entrance like he's done before. If he's 1 or 2, if he's anything further on, that kind of rules that out. So I think 1 or 2 is likely.
My Iron Man ties in with my most eliminations actually.
Okay.
And I would like to go for both Jacob Fatu. He's only just come back. Obviously, he's been involved in the championship match to get Drew the title, not intentionally, obviously. But I think this is the chance they've got to sort of like re-establish him as, top-level superstar. And I think a good showing in the Rumble would be tantamount to that happening.
Okay. Are you talking to me yet, Andy?
Oh, did somebody hear something? Yes. Nearly recovered. My pick is, I feel like I'm out on my own on this one. Ilya Dragunov.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that as well.
Big push time. Pushing up to possible champion type run.
Oh, a little bit of Dragunov Gunther. Run that back again, yes, please.
Good in-ring presence. Just needs a little push, and this could be that. Put that name in that category. It's a real nice little push. So yeah,
I would love to see that. I think Ilya has got that potential to be the guy that Sami Zayn wishes he was. Coming from that kind of like level in the card, and just oh man, that would be yes, please. Okay, so Ilya is in the book now. Paul's then given his most eliminations prediction. So we'll skip Paul on that one. My most eliminations ties in with my winner. I think Bron Breakker will get that accolade as well. After his performance last year and chucking out that YouTuber and basically nailing anybody with the world's strongest running spear that he can possibly get away with, I think that he'll get a fair few eliminations. So it's if he doesn't win, he'll definitely get that. So I guess it was a bit more playing the odds for the points kind of system. Max.
Obafemi.
ah,
It's right there. It's right there. Why have I not gone for that? Oh my
I
god!
was like
Ooh.
the whole night. That name has been mentioned so many times, and I keep looking at my thing, going, "Somebody gonna get there before me?" Because I think this is a really good pick, but now I'm not sure because the name's been said so many times. I'm like, in case you hadn't guessed, I am also in agreement with Max.
In the end,
Great
you
pick,
could
Max.
just
It's a
swap it
great
round.
pick. I like what you've done there.
I mean, what a way to introduce yourself to the main roster on a full-time basis. They had him, as we were saying before, they had him relinquish the NXT title. They have not had him feature on SmackDown yet, but they've gone old school and done like proper vignettes for him. You were saying about Jey Uso's entrance taking a long time, Max. If Obafemi does the walk all the way down to the ring, we may be in for a long entrance there as well. And when I say a long entrance, don't get that misconstrued.
Oh my god! Has there ever been like an entrance where someone's taken that long to get to the ring
But the
that
next
the next
entrance
person
coming in
like
behind
just like comes in front
laps
past them?
them.
I mean, part of me wants to say Titus just because, but I'm not sure.
Wait,
Exactly what he said. Okay, so we've got the most eliminations in the book. I feel like we've jumped all over Andy's predictions so far tonight. So I feel like we should let Andy lead off with the surprises, just in
can
case it happens again.
If
can I
you do
just
not
before?
have my first surprise entrance already written down, I am getting in the car.
So this was
I
going
have
to be
been
my fault.
predicting this for literal months.
I was going to say
I want my credit. My credit is come due now. Where is my credit? I've been predicting this for months, and it's now
So-
going to happen. And I want everybody to know I was there. I was the tip of the spear.
so. I think it's highly likely that all four of us would have thought of this person. I'm not putting
John
him down.
Cena.
Well, that was going to be my joke answer. It's going to be like I'm never going to wrestle again, but they are offering me 50 million for this one day, so might do it. Might just be tempted. Yes, go on, Andy. Break it down for us.
I've written 2 words in already. I have got 2 words written down. And if it's not what I think it is, I will be shocked and somewhat appalled.
Are those words Chris Jericho?
Yes.
Good. They should.
I also have another name written down as well.
Is it Chad Gable?
It's not.
Or is it Bad
Is that
Bunny?
is that where you're going? Are you going
Is it Bad Bunny?
gone Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny was my other one. I have got a list. I think weirdly, I think what is probably the most of it because obviously my first pick was written in stone by the gods, and my second pick I was going to go because I know what everybody's expected. So I was going to be like, and Bad Bunny, because I mean, you know. But I think one of the more obvious ones after certain revelations, possibly earlier today, was going to be a Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that was.
At this point in time, I presume I'm stepping
spoiled.
over everybody's predictions just by throwing out as many names.
Well, you've definitely stepped over one of mine, but I expected that one. So
In what?
I've gone also for Chris Jericho for one of them. Somebody made a real big point as well of making sure that everybody knows that apparently he was definitely still in America this morning. We all know how that ends. But after last year, of them hardly using, if any, NXT people, they've got to use them this time, surely. And I feel like the guy who's still hugely affiliated to NXT will be for a little while, and possibly will be the guy or one of the guys to build the men's division around, probably deserves a little bit of an outing in the Rumble. So I have gone for the other surprise entrant to be Ethan Page. Who wants to go last, basically, gents, out of you two? Somebody jump in.
Go on, then I'll go. So Andy's mentioned a couple of mine. I was going to say Bad Bunny, to be honest with you. Obviously, like, you know, gets to tie in with the fact that, I mean, he's probably quite busy the week after, because, you know, he's got a little musical number to do in front of, you know, several hundred millions of people. But Chris Jericho was my first one, but I now don't want to say that because it's just, you know, I'll play for more points. So I'll go for Dolph Ziggler. And that's a sort of it's a known name. It's someone they don't technically have under contract, but they've got the working agreement with TNA.
Yep.
And yeah, I like the Chad Gable shout that Andy threw out. So I would have Chad Gable down as my second surprise entrance.
Throwing up absolutely shredded pictures on social media is generally a dead giveaway.
Once we've got the official ones in the book, we'll go through a few others as well. Go on, Paul.
I do need to obviously. I will need to clarify. Do I lose points if Chad Gable doesn't show up in the Rumble, but one of the El Grande Americanos turns up in the Royal?
We could have several El Grande Americanos, but at some point, I suspect that there will be an unmasking if that was to happen.
Well, over to Max.
Christopher Jericho and LA Knight.
Good shout.
Yeah. I don't think either of those are bad shouts. I think LA Knight, again, is another one that could use this as a bit of a character reset. I'm guessing that's why you went that way.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Okay, well, those are in the book. The other ones that we've seen, as Andy mentioned, Seth Rollins has been touted, spoiled somewhat by a live television interview with ESPN earlier today, where somebody went, "And how great is it? How great does it feel to be back in the Royal Rumble?" And he went, and couldn't hide it because it was on live TV. So there is a very, very high chance that he will be in. I would say, but fair play to him if it is, because the injury that he sustained was supposed to be minimum end of February. So he was even a little bit of a doubt if he got any setbacks for WrestleMania.
He may or may not have appeared on a podcast that I listened to, and he may. This was a while. This was like a few weeks back, and he may or may not have suggested his recovery was going a little better than expected. So that was the first sign that I knew something was on the cards.
nobody's going to trust him with his injury status ever again, are they? After what happened last year, the fact that that's a big part of this season of Unreal, and then now if he comes back this weekend, he'd be like, my kneecaps are on the back of my leg, and like, no, it ain't. No, it's not. You're fine. Get up, go for a run. Some of the other ones that I've seen touted around, it's heavily rumored that WWE have recently signed Powerhouse Hobbs, as he was from AEW.
I had that on my list.
That was another one of my potentials.
The thing is, if they stick him straight into the Rumble, they're probably going to have to use a name that people will recognize. Because can you imagine if like they clearly can't use Powerhouse Hobbs, and they'd be like, "Oh look, it's Elijah Stevenson," and everyone will be like, "Huh?" Like it's just I don't know if that works so well.
They just call him Will Hobbs, won't they?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Kevin Owens isn't medically cleared as of last Saturday. Guessing that's probably the same, and they won't necessarily risk him. From the who was the other one that I'd seen? Oh, Brock. Brock's kind of given the game away though himself, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah, he went on the Pat McAfee show, didn't he, and said that he was going to be in it.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have mentioned to you last night, Stu, because he was going to be one of my 2 surprises.
Basically, Max texted me saying, "You know that this was mentioned on a podcast. Can I still pick them as a surprise entrance?" I was like, "Well, no, not now."
One of the other ones I've got listed, which I was like, "Wow, that's a fantastic name." Is Evil.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd seen something about that as well. Yeah, some of the New Japan guys. Yeah.
Yeah, because he goes in line with the Powerhouse Hobbs one.
Yeah, and recently, reckon again signed him on the sly. That's nothing's really been made official, and he probably would be like known by that name in WWE. I don't think they'd have a problem with that. But yeah, I don't. In terms of other surprises, again, probably more dipping into your NXT roster. Again, Ricky Saints. Won't be surprised if he shows up, particularly because he's like a good mate of Cody as well.
I was going to say Mike Santana from TNA.
Do you know, on the TNA front, because he's been used in everything else recently, wouldn't surprise me to see the UK's own Leon Slater getting a bit of a run out.
Yeah, that's not a terrible shout, to be fair. He'll go in there as the sort of the high flyer and stuff like that. Especially if Javon Evans is crocked or whatever. Oh, he's in the Rumble. Is he actually in the Rumble?
He's listed as being in the Rumble. So if he is actually injured, my thought was that Leon, as his tag team partner of sorts over the last couple of months, would probably take his place. The Javon injury is a weird one. It happened over here, didn't it, on live TV? Looked like a shoulder injury, but then they said possible concussion. It was weird. He was fighting against El Grande, and they basically just told him to stall. The entire match consisted of about 4 minutes of Javon doing what Javon does, and then another 6 or 7 minutes of El Grande walking around the ring, like sort of riling the crowd up a little bit, whilst the cameras did their best not to feature what was happening in the ring. So yeah, a bit of a weird one. But it'd be nice if Javon can't feature, if they do that and they give Leon Slater a bit of a run out, I think that I'd stick in some of the TNA guys in there, whether it's 1, 2, 3, whatever, men's, women's rumble, whatever. It can only help that working relationship that they've got as well. So
yeah.
Right. That is it. So that brings us to the end of the predictions. That brings us to a possible 12 points if anybody absolutely nails it all the way through. Has anybody got any other business? Of course. Paul with his mysterious box of numbers.
It was a do.
So, right at the start of the podcast, I presented to everyone the box of destiny, which is, of course, a lovely rainbow and sun inspired. I'd say
That's
lunchbox, but that fits about one piece of toast in it or something like that. So
that's
not
just,
really a
it's
not really
not
a
it,
lunchbox.
it's not the lid of a box. That is the weather forecast for this weekend in Riyadh,
Mm.
clearly. So
Sun, 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 sun. Although there is a little cloud just there. So hopefully not. So 30 are the magic numbers, of course, and I was drawing those out one by one to get 7 numbers for each of us with 2 numbers remaining. Does anyone want to hazard a guess at the 2 numbers that were left over as it pertains to the Royal Rumble?
12
No,
and 26.
is
no,
one of them number one?
no. Go the other way.
Number 30.
Oh,
So number 30 is one of the leftovers, which is absolutely typical because there's been quite a few winners from number 30. And 22.
okay. If you'd
And
have
it's going
said
to be
27, I'd have been more worried because I think 27 is the big
well,
one, isn't it?
I think 27 is the lucky number. So 30 and 22, if the winner comes from either of those, no one gets any points in either the men's or the women's Royal Rumble. But Andy has the following numbers: 18, 13, 3, 7, 15, 21, and 14. Stu, 19, 16, 26, 24, 29, 25, and 4. Max has 28, 10, 1, 2, 6, 17, and 23. And I have 12, 9, 8, 27, 11, 20, and 5.
So, Paul, for anybody
Yes.
just tuning in, that was our sweeps for a bonus point for the predictions. It wasn't, however, Paul's audition to be the new voice of the balls on the National Lottery. Um, I am
Oh,
going.
that.
I'm going to ask if Paul will. Can you make sure that you keep track of that because I have not got a cat and hell's chance. Thank you very much.
I will. It is saved on my phone, so I will keep it there as needed, and I'll also try and run alongside it concurrency of who is out at what number in the Rumble as well
Okay, thank you,
for both.
Max.
How about to be in the whole accent? This word sounds excellent. To be fair, as there's 4 of us and 2 numbers left, why don't we give a number? Say what was the numbers? 22 and 30.
Yes.
Why don't we give 22? Why don't you give 22 and 30 to 2 people for the women's, and then 22 and 30 to 2 of us from the men's?
I like it. I like it.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah. Any win want to suggest a way
I'll
to do it?
I'll
I love
take
number
20.
30.
I'll take 22 for the women.
I was going to say do it randomly, but yeah, never mind.
Right. 22 W.
And 30 for the men then.
I
Feels
was about to say
22 feels
22.
like a good spot for Tiffany Stratton to return.
I was
Actually,
about to say
30 for the
22.
men. 30 for the women, I'll have.
Okay. 30 W. Andy, do you want 22 or 30 for the men's?
I'll take 22.
Andy has 22 for the men.
Imagine
And
if that
I
ends up being the
that was
decisive factor, the fact that we actually Paul's gone to the effort of doing 28 randomized, and the ones that we actually pick end up being the ones that win it.
to be honest, that we should build that in as part of the predictions for next year. We have to try and predict the winning number in both of the rumbles.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something we can definitely do another time. If you can tell me ahead of me writing the podcast in future, Paul, that would be right. So the numbers have been drawn, as have the battle lines. It is time for the Royal Rumble. Thank you very much for joining us for this episode. And again, as we mentioned, going into our a next year of getting over right here on CookieCast. Appreciate everybody that's taken time to listen to us, to download, to like, share, and subscribe, to contribute, all of that business. And yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend ahead. Just forget where it's taking place and just remember it's the Royal Rumble. We'll get through it together, kids. Right, enjoy. Thank you very much, gents, and we will see you all on the next episode. Cheers.
So there you go. What do you think of that? Bumper episode. Good to see the guys. Good that Max was able to join. Matt, we always miss you, but it's good that we can get these done, get them out to you nicely in time for the Royal Rumble. What do you reckon? Who do you think's going to win? A little birdie told me that if you get your predictions to us before the matches start, confirmed in the mailbox before the matches start, Stu will absolutely send you a fantastic wrestling-related gift. He doesn't know that yet, but I'm sure it'll definitely be a thing. So there we go. That's that one. It's done. It's ready to go. Ready to rumble. Anyone remember that? Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Share the podcast around. Come on, that's the one. Share it, share it, share it. Check out the website, thecookiecast.com. Obviously, you'll have to go there to click the email button to send us your predictions, obviously, to get the prize. But there's also social media links if you want to follow us on social media. That is it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to CookieCast. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe.